Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever we are, wherever I am. I'm Abby Haggard most of the time, although some days it seems to be a tenuous concept. So here's the thing. You need to keep looking at the time when you're having a shower and you say, oh, just a little bit more hot water on that shoulder. So all of a sudden I looked at my watch and I thought, "Gah!" So I have just been frantically tap dancing. And one of the things I decided to do randomly, speaking of focus interruptus, was pick up the fabulous vase of tulips that Miss Hay had decided that we needed to have for our birthday. I picked them up and all the petals fall off on the table. It's like, "Phew." And I looked and I said, Petalica. And I laughed hysterically and left it and came back. And here I am. Here we are. So for those of you who are just joining and you're saying, what on earth am I watching? I'm Abby Haggard, and once upon a time, a long time ago, in a far-off land, there was a king who had a beautiful daughter, the princess, and he said, someday, sweetheart, you'll grow up to wear a yellow apron and rubber gloves. And you know what? He wasn't wrong. So let us begin by cheering on my sainted father. Thanks, Dad. So, big, huge, fabulous loveliness. A young protege of Roger Price. Roger Price was the is the creator producer of many, many fabulous British television series. Good morning, Charles. And he is the father, undisputably the father of You Can't Do It on Television. And Zach Boniface, who is the young protege, decided to do a mini documentary. He's a student at a media broadcasting college located in Ottawa, Canada, and which is it's just about to run out of funding for genius kids like him. Anyway, he decided to do a documentary short on the concept of childhood on television, and he came and sat down with me with his crew, and then he sat down with Roger, and Carol got involved in the conversation, and we were talking about the essence of it. What is it? What was it? How did it? Why did it? Who did it? And it was a wonderful time. They came and visited. We sat, we chatted. They shot stuff, and he had some questions prepped. And of course, when he talked to Roger, he had other questions. And then this genius boy wove it all together. I think it's about 7 minutes long. It's on YouTube. I put it on my Facebook page. And what I'll do when I'm done, because he's already got it on Instagram and he's already got it on his YouTube page, what I will do is I will link it onto LinkedIn, because you need to see it. You need to see Roger's genius. Good morning, Freddie. You need to see Roger's genius in real time. You need to just enjoy the clips that Zach put together. And he's a wonderful guy. He came with Roger and Billy and a couple of other people with me to Montreal Comic Con quite a few years ago. He said to me, I was just a kid. It was 5 years ago. Shut up. And we surprised some You Can't Do That fans who were there celebrating their honeymoon. And I connected with the Klingon Empire and the Dark Empire and the Viking Empire. And we basically brought Montreal Comic Con to a halt. And we staged a Klingon wedding, and the Dark Empire had a wedding march all through the con. And Zach was one of the photographers and one of the videographers. So that's when we met. And when he came back and he said, I want to do this. And I said, I'll make you a deal. I'll do yours if you come and do mine. And he looked at his calendar. He said, I'm in. So I think if he hasn't rushed off to Hollywood, I think Zach may be taking part in the July 20th Fanaticon Day, capturing the magic. So that's that aside. And I think it's an important introduction. It's an introduction to our opposites. And I think it's important to focus on the fact that we meet incredible people periodically. They come, we have a Bugs Bunny moment where we get a kiss on the nose from the universe, and then they're gone. And we never know when they're going to just resurface. And we had a magical afternoon. It was really a great day. And we laughed, and they loved all my collectibles. And he pulled quite a lot of stuff out of the Fame book for his resource material. So it felt, it felt like even if I was arm's length, I felt like I was part of his creative process, which is very exciting. And it's that sentence, being part of someone else's creative process, is what I want to talk about when I talk today about focus and focus interruptus. I want to talk about what it means when we can shift our perspective to see a bigger view, to see depth, to see 3D, and get a sense of the layer effect, like a pastry with those many little flaky layers. One little layer is delicious. 347 are amazing. And you can lose your focus in looking at all of the details. Where you can bring it back, where you can reconnect from the interruptus, is when it's together, when it's packaged, and it's all of a piece, right? We all know how that feels when all of a sudden everything just kind of goes and it's there, and you say, yes, that was the point. That was why we put up with all the nonsense. That was why we went away and thought about stuff and picked up the phone and said, hey, I have an idea and I want your take on it. It's not losing focus. It's surrounding our focus, I think. So another sip of the beverage. Cheers to us all. And when I did I do a little descriptor for the video. And I was talking about the fact that this past weekend is, chocolate bunny mayhem. And we just lose sight, sense, sound of all of our really, really exciting spring plans. And we eat stuff that we don't really like that much. We like a little bit of it. We like that one. And then we say, oh, and there's that. And oh, and there's this. And then there's the meal. And then people come and, oh my God, we're going to have a toast. We're going to this. And, it's saccharine heaven. But the next day we just feel, like a pillow with the stuffing unstuffed. Because it's like watching a child on a sugar high for 3 or 4 days, and then boof. So today is boof day. Today's your boof day. And how do we get our focus reclaimed? How do we step back in? And last week I had a couple of lengthy experiences, hot tasty beverages, lengthy experiences in discovery. And when you brainstorm with somebody, it's like you take your shoes off and you walk around in their head, and you check things out and you see the world through their eyes, and you talk about why they think the way they think, and how they added 4 and 3 and got 11, and that allows them to question you about your automatic assumptions. And as long as you go into these conversations with no thing, you go in an expectation of connection and communication and creativity. It's thrilling. It's an exact metaphor for the weekend. It's sweet and it's savory and it's exciting. It's exhilarating. It's thrilling. And then you're exhausted, and you kind of walk around saying, "Did we get the license on that truck?" Because we're not used to having somebody clomping around in our head. We're not used to clomping around in somebody else's. And we have all our own information, then we have all their information, and then we have this third layer of information, which is the product of our separate informations. And it's mind-boggling. And we're sugar exhausted. So I spent part of the weekend just kind of sitting still, thinking, what the hell was that? And then at the end of the day, when I kind of did a little summary to myself, thinking, how, does it involve pants? Like, what am I doing? What came out of that? And I saw this massive layers and layers of ideas and layers of fresh perspectives sort of going from over here. And I thought, oh, that's why I'm exhausted. I've been rowing on this little boat. Suddenly I discovered a whole new land, and and leap off the boat, tether the boat, and go exploring. Get back to the boat, and I'm a little tired. I'm not really ready to row all that way back. So the conversation today is that. The conversation is this. We have a couple of things that are going on in our lives right now. In addition to our everyday, are you kidding? Put the kids to bed. Wake up the dog. Move the cat. Feed the budgie. Remember that we need to replace the smoke alarm buzzer because it doesn't have a switch on it where when you're cooking and the thing goes off, you can't say, I'm cooking, and then it just shuts off automatically. We need to get back to a semblance of familiar. We need to get back to a semblance of how people like us do it like this, except that we now are different. When you spend significant hours with somebody, we're different. When you spend significant deep hours with somebody, I spent I don't know 3 or 4 hours yesterday having lunch with my favorite college partner in crime, and we laughed ourselves silly, not because life is ridiculous, but because that kind of sense of humor was born way back when we were dealing with all of the madness of university. And he lives a few hours away, and so he comes up to Ottawa to visit family, and he always calls and says, so lunch, drinks, dinner, what? And then we just go and we just download and then we upload, and it's lovely. So that was 3 of those other meetings, and then this one. And oh yes, and of course lunch with Carol, which is just always a magical thing. It's been it's been quite a week, Maggie Muggins, and I thought it was a perfect time to talk about what that does to our automatic reset switch, which is now then where were we, and I think it's really important. I'm just writing that down because I hadn't done it. Where? Because the question, now then where were we, is flawed. Now then where were we sounds like us saying, well, enough of that. We have to get back to the important things. Except that's not true. Now then where were we is actually an examination of all the ingredients we had on the table and the new ones. So where were we? Well, we started with 2 eggs, and we had some flour and some sugar and some baking soda powder, and we had milk, oil, whatever. And we were looking at it, and now we have all these other ingredients, and we say, how is this going to work? Because the new ingredients now live in me. They're not things I can put back in the cupboard. They're part of how I think. They're part of how my automatic reaction to things is now been added to. And what is that going to do to everything else? And while the title, it's Chocolate Bunny Weekend, what we learn in an overindulgence of Chocolate Bunny Weekend, or whatever you want to call it, is how good we are at it, how much we like it, how much we've grown past it, how nostalgic it was, how we haven't changed, how we really still are that little kid inside this different body. And now that we've been reminded of that, what do we do with it? Now then, where were we? I'm going to a very important meeting this evening. I've been invited to join a very, very beautiful, lovely club of members. The club has been around since before Canada was a country, and I was invited to join. And so tonight is the annual general meeting, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to put on a suit jacket, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to sit there, and I'm going to listen to all these people talk about how passionate they are about the club and where we think it's going. And if I have something to say, my voice will be heard, which is quite remarkable, quite a wake-up call, quite a focus interruptus when I'm thinking about you can't do that on television and the unforgettables, right? It's a moment. And so how I unpack all that, how I repack it, how I make it something. Good morning, Kelly. It's so good to see you. How I unpack that and repack it so that things work together is this exercise I'm talking about. So here we go. Long intro. My bad. Let's say we have a business. It doesn't matter if it's a small business. It doesn't matter if it's a medium-sized or a big business, or our business is actually a division of a larger business within which we operate. Everything we bring to the business, everything we bring to the work we do, everything we bring to the decisions we make on behalf of our agenda, the immediate agenda and the larger agenda, the satellite agendas, is predicated on how we feel about our job, our role, how we manage that role, these functions, this passion, together with the personal stuff, the creative stuff, the hobby stuff, the friendship stuff, the curiosity stuff, the health stuff. Plus, and this is where the serious aspects of focus interruptus come along. What are we saying here? Thank you. In the news, we are seeing an outcome of accelerated technology. I'm not talking about runaway trains. I'm talking about every time there is a significant shift, everything else resettles. Sidebar, when we went to live in Europe, my dad sold our North American car and he bought us a French car because we were going to be stationed in France. It was called a Citroën. And the Citroën had an independent hydraulic quality to it that was really unsettling every time you got in the car. What would happen was you open the door, you step into the car, you sit down, you close the door, and the car's hydraulics would settle to adjust to account for your weight, to offset the imbalance created when you got in the car. So here's why it's unnerving. It felt like the car was alive. I'm this little kid. What is it doing? and we every time we had big eyes and kind of this weird grin because it really felt as though the car was possessed. Not in a negative way, but just had an independent thing going on. And so that metaphor, and because if you haven't gone and sat in a Citroën, you have not lived. You have not lived. So the first time, you can't just do it once. You have to go away and come back and do it again because it's brand new, fresh weirdness, the same every time. It doesn't fade. So this is what our brains do. This is what our body does. This is what our energy, this is what our emotional bank of firing fuses do every time something new comes in, sits down, and makes itself at home inside us. The other parts of us all go, all right, yeah, how you doing? Good to see you. And as we have become part of the balancing act of the car, in exactly the same way, when we stop the car, put it in park, open the door, and we get out, close the door, the car settles back. However, it has memory like memory foam. And memory foam the phenomenon of memory foam is that it never forgets us. We are part of its package now, in the way that I'm talking about, in the way that I'm saying. You spend 3 hours with somebody, you spend 10 minutes with somebody. I had a hilarious moment on the elevator yesterday. It was Monday, right? Long weekend Monday. I got into the elevator, I pushed the button, nothing happened. It went boop, but nothing happened. The light didn't come on. The elevator just sat there. So I pushed it again, boop. I mean, it made its noise. I know it's working. And by the way, lights are on. It's just nothing. I pushed it the third time, boop, light came on. Doors closed. Everything's good. And I thought, that's odd. Get down to the, couple of floors, doors open. Person gets on. They push a different floor, right? They push the button. Nothing happens. It goes boop. And I said, you have to push it again. And they said, oh, is it broken? No, just push it again. Push it again. Boop. Nothing. So it had occurred to me, right? And I said, it's the third time lucky. Push it again. Boop. Light came on. Doors closed. And we went going. Person looks at me and I said, it's Monday. And he said, right. I said, the elevator is saying, fine then. He burst out laughing. And he said, I feel its pain. At the bottom, doors open. He goes out, I go out. He turns around, he says, have a great day. And I said, yes, sir. Elevator closed. The focus interruptus in that moment was the complete energy shift, mental shift, gamesman shift that took place. I never saw the man before. In all the times up and down, I've never seen him. I'm looking forward to it the next time because we will carry on that conversation. What was amazing about it was the focus interruptus was that we both woke up to the fact that it was Monday. I had something to say about it. We both laughed about it because it's real, correct? And we both felt the opportunity to enjoy how exhausting the weekend was. Together, two perfect strangers. And we both felt a little sorry for the elevator, who's had to put up with just enough, and that shifted everything. Why? Because we acknowledged the addition of all the new ingredients from this very full, very rich, very so much for the diet workout plans we had. And it gave us permission to forgive ourselves for our indiscretions. It gave us permission to take a breath and say, you know what? We can start today. We can start today. We'll start tomorrow. It's no big deal. We missed a couple of days. All right. I could have been sick. I could have had a cold and I wouldn't have been doing all the things that I had planned. So where I'm going with this focus interruptus is this. There's too much going on. And it's like an automatic appliance pouring coffee into your cup. If you accidentally put in a smaller cup, the appliance doesn't know unless it's programmed that way. It just keeps pouring the amount that it has available to you. We are the ones who have to say, that's good, that's enough. And the thing is, the new technology is so exciting. The new opportunities are so exciting. We don't want it to stop. We want it to be part of us. We want to enjoy all of it. But we are still those waves on the beach, hit the beach, and boof. The wave has to go away to recharge. Go get more molecules and do it again. And if we forget that, we lose the ability to stay focused, to stay vigilant, to stay engaged, because we're trying to take on too many things. Why? Because they're being offered to us. Would you like this? Oh, yes. Would you like this? Oh, yes. What? Are you still hungry? No. Would you like this? Oh, yes. Because it's offered. It's a gift. It's free. And it looks delicious. Are you hungry? No. Then what are you doing? I don't know. because in our lifetimes, nobody has offered us so much all at once, consistently. The parade of waiters with delicious, odd-looking things on trays seems to be unending. And on the opposite side of that coin is another wave, endless, of people coming out carrying attitudes. You want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? Did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And it's exhausting. We could shut off, but what if we miss something? You know, we're in the middle of something, we hear that ping. Oh, somebody likes us. Let's look, let's see. And then we end up doing nothing because we're spending so much time chasing or saying, oh, yes, please. Oh, yes, I'll try that. Oh, yes. And we stop thinking about what's best for business, what's best for us, because business is the thing we do. We are the business. We are the fuel. We are the ideas. We are the momentum. If we're inundated and overloaded and overexposed, we need to rest. We need to take a step back. And I am so guilty of not doing that. I am the poster child for, that was really fun. Can we do it again? Again, Daddy, again. You know, I was that child. Again. I can still do the voice. Wee! Meantime, Dad. No. Oh, Dad, come on. Right. 6'5" Viking. Fine, one more. Who can say no to that, right? Well, I've actually met a couple of people who go, I love you, but just stop. So how do we rein it in? How do we manage? Can we even manage focus interruptus? Can we even manage to say, can I have a doggy bag with all the things that are offered to us constantly? Can we even do that? Do we have that strength, that resistance? Because curiosity doesn't know we're tired. When we're so tired, we say, I'm not curious now. Brain says, I am. No, you're not. Go to bed. I have to have some sleep. So how do we manage it? And my hack is this. And it's odd to say it, but the key words are begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. I'm just going to stop in. I'm just going to say hi. They have hors d'oeuvres. They look delicious. Instant gratification. Oh my God, they smell great. Try one. Have another. Have another. Easy to say yes. Easier to say yes than no. Begin with the end in mind. What's the end in mind? Well, where were we going after? What was the point of the exercise? I just stopped in to pick up this and drop off that because we have dinner. We have plans. I have quality time for something else. But how do I balance this looks amazing in the moment with knowing this will be amazing later? How do we make sense of that? And the only way I have ever come up with is in the process of feeling hard done by because I have to say no to this. I just really want one. No, okay. The conversation we're having is this. We can come back and have that anytime. We can begin with this end in mind the next time. What if there isn't a next time? There's always a next time of some kind. That was a hard lesson for me to learn. Military kid, yoinked out of her life. It felt like every 15 minutes. I never really want the show to end, the party to end, the conversation to end, the connection to end, because I don't know if we're leaving in the morning. I would come home from school and there'd be boxes in the living room and they weren't there when I left. It creates a kind of undercurrent of what if there isn't enough time? What if there isn't enough time this time? And what has to happen for me every time is give myself permission to see that if we pause, whatever the next time is going to be amazing. Because I began this with the end in mind. I didn't begin this with intermediate rest stops in mind. Those are the journey, the destination, and the journey together create the end I have in mind. I had this weird disjointed back and forth conversation the other day because an idea popped into my head. And I reached out and I said to my brainstorming partner, and I said, I need a keyword. I need a keyword for this feeling. And the answer was, give me a minute. Because of course. And a few minutes later, the answer was, what's filling my head is this. And I said, complete left field, complete out of nowhere. And I said, I love that. I love that. I want to ask you a question. What happens if we have that? What happens if we partner it with this? And the answer was, I love that too. I said, all right. Then one begat another, and now we have something that's got two legs. Isn't that interesting? And that was an exchange that took place easily and quickly and with complete flow, fluid, with no prep, no warning, because we had had these long, intensive, deep, rambling all over the place conversations. We had paved the path. You picture a garden path with little benches here and there. We had planted all of that. So we were able to suddenly just put aside what we were doing, have that brief interlude, that brief creative, and then go back to what we're doing. Focus interruptus is not squirrel. It's focus interruptus. Focus, refocus, transformed focus. Focus, refocus. When it comes back, we don't go back to the original focus. We can't, because you can't unknow. So you have focus, refocus, transformed focus. Shazam. Begin with the end in mind. The end in mind is leverage change. The end in mind is use the momentum of change to carry you forward, farther and faster and higher than you would have gone on your own. Focus interruptus is focus elevated, focus changed, focus new, directed toward the end we had in mind. Isn't that cool? It's so powerful when you walk away from a conversation, a funny random comment, a shared observation of something where you just both laugh spontaneously. And 10 minutes, 10 weeks, 10 years later, the same kind of trigger comes up and the two of you are in the same place together when that trigger comes up, and the two of you immediately zip back to that moment and laugh hysterically because you did it together and everybody else thinks you're crazy. That's focus interruptus. Focus designed, redesigned, elevated, enhanced. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's not unfocused. It's hyper-focused. So what is the hack? What is the simple win? It's all very well and fine for me to go, narn, 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 narn. There's no set of steps. It's unhelpful. It's like, just change. Okay, how, right? Which end of it do I hold? So you know that song, If I Had $1 Million, I'd buy me a house. I'd buy you a dress, not just any dress, a pitted green dress. What is the end that you have in mind? The end that you have in mind, is it $1 million? Let's use it as a metaphor. If I had $1 million, I'd buy you a house. So the $1 million, if that's what you say, but it isn't the end, is it? If I had $1 million, what would I do with it? I'd buy you a house. Is that the end of it? No. I'd buy you a green dress, not just any dress. Is that the end of it? No. Okay, then. It's not about the $1 million, is it? The goal we're looking at, it's not the thing. It's not the place. It's not the people. It's how it makes us feel. When we begin with the end in mind, the end we're looking at is a feeling, is a state of mind. What is that we believe in? What is it that we know, we hunger, we crave? What is it that feels like it's missing? Is it a hug? I had this thought last night. I'm going to do this fan event in July, and I thought, it'd be really great. It'd be really great to figure out how I could create something that's a hug. And we have those at the booth, and everybody gets a hug. Don't you think? I don't know what it is yet, but I thought, because it's not, it's not that, because, it's got to be something that they can take away with them. It's a portable hug, right? So I thought, okay, so put it out there, universe, do your magic. What I want you, us, we, collectively, together, family, I'm not singing, I promise. What is the end in mind? What do we want? How do we want to feel? What does it feel like we're missing? What is the element that we seek? When we know that, is it sanctuary? Is it a feeling of safety? Is it a feeling of belonging? Is it a feeling of being heard? Is it a feeling of being valued, accepted, cared for, cherished, respected, invited? Is it a feeling of belonging? Is it a feeling of being essential? Is it a feeling of I've arrived? That's the question. Focus interruptus is we're not paying attention to the reason we came. And I don't mean the reason we came. I mean, in the moment, the reason we came. The reason I take the coffee after the video and I go back in the kitchen, so I put it in the microwave because it's cold. Boop, there, coffee. The reason I came is not coffee, hot coffee. And not even really the coffee, but the warm beverage on the, oh yeah, that's the reason for the coffee. How that feels. How that just makes everything go, oh yeah, okay, good, perfect. Now what? What do you want? Why are we doing this? I had a conversation once many years ago with the actors union rep who was not a fan of mine. What do you want, Abby? What do you want? Oh, hello, Abby. I'm very busy. What is it? I've come to get the money. Oh, that. I don't even know if you deserve it. So she used to say, among all the other lovely, yummy, huggy things, she used to say, why do you always want things so badly, Abby? Why are you always so excited? You know, every time you show up someplace, you're so excited. It's exhausting. You're going to be disappointed every day of your life. And I said, no, you see, you're looking at it from the wrong point of view. Come over and stand beside me and I'll show you. I'm busy. Yes, it'll take a second. Come here. Get up. Come on. Now, I'm standing here. There's a door. I have a choice. I can go through the door and have you yell at me, or I can stay on this side and phone it in. So why am I going through the door? Because I want to. Why? Because I deserve what's on the other side. Not you yelling, but but the money you're going to give me, the experience I'm going to have, the conversation. And by the way, the accent that she had that I could learn to use in characters. I said, I don't leave the house unless I'm excited. I got stuff, you know, I can stay home. I can create characters and I can write stuff and I can kick back and read a book and look out the window. I can go for a walk. I don't need to just, gotta get out of the house. Why? Is that the point? Like just to get and stand in the driveway? It better be pretty goddamn exciting for me to leave the house. And that's why I'm excited, because I've decided it's going to be exciting. Why? Because life is exciting. The alternative, not so much. Do you ever think of dropping out? Nope. Do you think of just kicking back and phoning it in? Nope. Why? Because it's exciting. Geez, there's no talking to. Put it off. Get it. Put it in the bank. Don't spend it. You might not see another dime. Thanks, Sybil. So what is that? This is Eeyore. Christopher Robin here. Hello, Pooh. I'm not having a very good day. Sybil. Why do you always... If I can experience wonder and joy. No, it sounded like singing. I wasn't singing, Freddie. No, that wasn't me singing. I almost sang. I came so close. Everybody would know if I had sung, because they would all be saying, no, it's close. Focus interruptus is losing sight of the prize. Focus interruptus is falling prey to nose against the grindstone. Day after day, day after day, day after day. Same bar, Wednesday night, hate my job, quit. Why? What else would I do? There's a joke. I just remember there's a joke. There's a little old guy covered in dirt. He's sitting in a bar and he's having a drink. Fellow comes in and says, oh, you're new here. Yeah. Where are you from? Well, I'm with the circus. The circus? Oh, that must be amazing. Not really. Why not? Circuses are great. Yeah, that's what you think. Why? What do you do? I follow the elephants with a broom. Oh my God. Yeah. All the parades, every parade, I'm the one behind the elephant with the broom. Well, that sounds disgusting. It is. Well, why don't you quit? Little old guy puts the glass down, looks at him and says, and leave show business? His end in mind was the magic. And he loved to complain. And when he was offered an opportunity to change, he couldn't think of a place he'd rather be. No matter how smelly and awful it was his taste of show business. Focus interruptus is forgetting why we came. Focus interruptus is forgetting why it's worth the work and the focus and the weight and the effort. There's a lovely guy who has his videos have just come across my horizon, and he had a hellish life, just an absolutely hellish life, and hit a wall fairly hard, fell down, and proceeded to just allow the world to run over him. And then something happened. Something happened. A little switch flipped. And he said to himself, if I want better than this, it's got to be me going to get it. And he put in the work. His family was so proud of him for making a decision to try something instead of giving up every day. And he put in the work, and he put in the work, and he put in the work, and he does these videos, and they're fun, and they're funky, and they're weird and eclectic and crazy and very high energy, and they're short, of course. And what he's doing is he's making planning and scheming and dreaming a process that tastes like fun, that tastes like doable, that feels like the thing. And he's showing you how it works. And the other day, he was sitting there, and he was quite normal, straight, serious for a moment. And he said, you know what? I just got over 2 million views of the video I'm about to do. And he said, I'm over the moon. It's all you. You did this. And the thing is, and he said a couple other things, and then it segued to the video, which was crazy and fabulous, just fabulous. Of course it would get views. The thing is, we did this because he did this. It's a dance. It's a couple's dance. He came onto a video once, and he said, you know what happened? I found the key to my grandmother's closet. And he was wearing a silly old shrug sweater shawl from like 60 years ago. He's dancing, doing his thing. The next one was him all buffed up and like a bodybuilder in competition. He's all greased and everything, and it's dark lighting, and there's thunder in the background, and he's doing this almost this banshee like song of yearning, which is nothing like the guy in Grandma's Shrug. But what he's doing is he's exploring, and he's playing with how delicious it tastes when you keep your eye on the prize. When you keep your eye on the prize, no matter what else, it's always there. It's always part of everything else. There's always that thing. It's always in your ear going, yeah. And no matter how tired you are, long phone call late at night, said, I have to go. I can't talk any longer. I'm tired. And on the other end, I know, me too. And then I started to laugh, and laughter was shared. And I said, it's too much fun. I know. We'll do it again. Thank you. Good night. Click. Because the brainstorming is so addictive. So this is what I want to say to you. We've been through a weekend of sugar rush. Whee! Yesterday was a long day for a lot of people. Today, where were we? Where we were and where we are is remembering to keep our eye on the prize. So what's the hack? What's the prize? Not the thing, not the arrival, because it's never really done. It's never really, it's never happily ever after. Every time somebody says to me, happily ever after, I say, after what? Lunch? Like, what happens after? And they have no idea, because of course they're thinking about something concrete. They're thinking about something they can see and taste and hold in their hand. Focus interruptus is forgetting how we feel about the prize, how we feel when we can sense the energy, how we feel when we get a fresh, oh my God, what if? That's the prize. So what is the hack for that? What is the prize? What is the prize? I tell people quite often that everybody goes to work of some kind, in some way. They wake up, they look in the mirror and go, geez, that's impressive. They get reorganized. They get themselves facing the front. And then they do whatever it is they have to do, want to do, need to do, that they consider the work. And most of the people I talk to, they go someplace to do the work. And so because they go someplace to do the work, I'm able to use this metaphor. And I say, we all get up, we all go through those stages that I just described. And I said, and then we leave the house. And that leave the house metaphor is we leave the bedroom or the living room or the basement or whatever and move into the space where work is going to take place, creativity, whatever it is, output is going to take place. And I said, and most of us leave the house and we get in a vehicle or we get on a vehicle. If we're walking, we put on shoes. The vehicle is our feet. If it's a bicycle, if it's a car, if we walk over to the bus, if we walk to the train station, if we get in the airplane, whatever it is, there's a vehicle involved. And we use the vehicle to take us to the place where we do the work. Correct? Correct. Okay. The difference between all of you and me is that when I leave the house, the next thing I do is I invent the vehicle from scratch. And then I construct the vehicle. And then I take it for a test drive. Whee! Fix the things that made the wrong noises. And then I get in the vehicle and I go to work. Every day. Every day. My entire life. That's how I'm different from most people. The creatives who are watching this, the rebel brain entrepreneur who said, you know what, if we did it this way, you know what I'm saying, because that's you too. Everybody who looks at their life and says, I'm not doing that, not anymore. I'm not just going to quit. I'm going to find a replacement. And when you're looking for and finding the replacement, that's the metaphor for building the new vehicle. You're visioning your life and you're building it, creating it, going and getting it, inviting it, whatever it is you're doing, you're creating the vehicle, you get in it, and it takes you to the next stage along the path. Why? Well, I have to eat. Okay, well, you can do anything. You don't have to have an invested aspect in having to eat. You can get a cup with pencils in it and sell them on the street corner, metaphorically. What is it that drives you? Beyond the vehicle, you drive the vehicle. What drives you? What is the reason you came? I don't mean what is my purpose here on earth. What floats your boat? What makes you say, you know what? What is that? You know what? This is not an easy quiz. It's a one question quiz. It's not an easy answer because we never think about it. Focus Interruptus. Keep your eye on the prize. What's the prize? How can you keep your eye on it if you don't know what it is? I need to get focused. Good on what? I don't know. That's the first problem. Are you listening to you? So this, my lovelies, this morning, this day after Happy Chocolate Weekend, happily, it's still birthday month. What's the prize? What's the prize now? Doesn't have to be the prize that was. What's the prize now? How does it make you feel? What's the prize? What does it awaken inside you? So every morning I do that. Every morning I revisit. I don't say, when I was a little girl, I was growing up, I said I wanted to be a teapot. I didn't actually, but you take my meaning. What I wanted yesterday isn't necessarily the thing I want today. How do I want to feel today? What do I want to have churning around in my brain today? I have a list of other stuff I've got to do, have to do, got to do. But there's the magic want to do, crave to do. That's the prize. So it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what your life is like. All the rhetoric that's going on around us, all the swirling toxic, what on earth are they saying? Are you kidding me? You know, I don't think they had a mirror at home when they put that on. All that random stuff. It's disorienting. It's demoralizing. It's exhausting. It's draining. Does it take you anywhere? I had this great debate. I said, this thing you're doing, this thing, does it take you anywhere? What do you mean? Does it take you anywhere? Using we start this conversation, we end this conversation. Have we gone anywhere? Is anything different? No. Okay then. Good talk. Big laugh. Rage. The prize takes us somewhere. The prize elevates us. The prize infuses us. The rant is a thing. The compulsive scrolling and reading, well, yeah. No, you know what? There's a hide button. Yeah, I'm not unfriending people or blocking. I'm just hiding their nonsense until this whole thing dies down. You know, so the wave is coming. There's this boosh on the beach. It'll go away and everybody will stop doing it. They'll grumble and gripe because first of all, they complained that the wave was coming. If they're complaining the wave is here, and now they're going to complain that it left, right? Perfect. But after that, see, now that's clear. And so I'm snoozing them for 30 days because you can change the world in 30 days. Yes, I did. So what it is that I want us to see and taste and feel is how we are inspired. You know, Freddie just commented on something. Freddie made a huge commitment in his life many years ago. He lives in Kansas City, and he decided he wanted to come to Ottawa, Canada, to a reunion of the kids show. Didn't have a vehicle, didn't have a lot of money. So what he did was he bought a bus ticket. All by himself, all on his own, didn't know anybody up here. Knew everybody from watching them on television, didn't know anybody, didn't know where he was going to stay. Just got on a bus, came, and worked it out. He didn't say, well, I don't know this and I can't do that and I have no idea about this. No, it was what he wanted to do. It was what he could feel that he had to do for himself. So he did it. And he sorted it out and he worked it out as he went along. That was the prize. We spend our whole lives saying, yeah, you know, I'm a little busy right now. I'll get to the prize. Why? Have a prize every day. Wake up in the morning. What's the prize? Well, I'm here. I may look like that, but we can fix that. I'm here. Yay. What's the next prize? So I have a list of things to do. And I have a list of things that are delicious. And on the delicious column, I pick one. And I say, this is my prize today. This is my why. So the question is simple. Put it on a Post-it note. What is the prize? Put it on your bathroom mirror. You don't have to write the answer. You just have to remind yourself that you are going to win. Whatever the prize is, You are going to win it. Why? Well, it's your prize. There's nobody else competing with you for this prize. It's your prize. Post-it note. What is the prize? Pfffffft. Bathroom mirror. Give it a try. It sounds really silly. It sounds really too simple. Yeah. All you thinkers and planners and doers and movers and shakers, all of you, you're going to come back to me and say, okay, here's the thing about that. It actually worked. Why did it work? And I'll tell you. So 11 o'clock, it's been an hour, a little longer than usual. I will see you back here on Thursday. I have something else that's really cool to talk about. I want us to look at this beginning of spring, this beginning of everything, as ours to own. Because, by the way, it is. So, you know the drill, right? Be good to you. Why? Well, because how many of you do you have? You have the one you. You have you. So be good to you. You deserve it. What is the prize? What kind of prize do you deserve? The best one. And remember to hug your loved ones, because they deserve it too. Thank you for watching. I got a feedback from LinkedIn yesterday that said that my reach last week on LinkedIn was just over 800 views. Bear in mind that I have only added LinkedIn in the last couple of weeks. How awesome is that? How lovely of you. How exciting that we have all these new paths and processes and purposes and passions to discover together. Thank you. And to my usuals, to my regulars, to my lovelies, thank you. And for all of you, if you didn't see the clip that I posted, the video I posted that Zach created, the childhood on television, you need to watch it. It's just 7 minutes. It's so interesting listening to Roger Price. He's so wise. It's so cool to see the clips of things that Zach picked and the pictures. And it's pretty cool for me to sit there looking at me talking like I know what I'm talking about. So check it out. It's only 7 minutes. Let me know what you think. And I will see you next time.